here smiling my face off because I just got to see my intro for the first time. So when I get home, I will be able to listen to the music. Welcome to What Matters. I am Elita, your host and your guest for today. So today we're doing something a little different. If you've been following me, if you've been watching, which I hope you have, you'll see that each week I have a different guest. So my mission here on What Matters is to highlight the doers and the change makers of our community. And when I say community, yes, we are located here in Toronto, but I mean our world community. All of our little sections, they overlap, and it makes our world, and it makes our life. So today, I want to talk about what brings me here to you in the first place, and what inspired this whole journey, which is social media. So today, I'm going to start a little series. We're going to do an experiment today, and I call it On My Timeline. So I love social media. I'm very, very present on Facebook, and I get most of my information, most of my news from social media. Now, before that used to concern me. I said, is this really valid that I'm getting my news and my information from social media? But what you learn and what you receive and what you see is their algorithms, and there are other things that are pushed at you, but really the decisions are made by who you friend and what you like and what you watch, and you tend to see more of what you gravitate towards. So if you stick with worthy news sources, intelligent virtual friends, you will find that your newsfeed becomes very, very rich. So I was taking a look at what's been on my timeline, what's been showing up, what's been the news, what's been the things we've been talking about the most, and I wanted to talk about them with you. So today, you guys didn't get a lot of warning, but you are my guest. So I need you to help me make this work. So I need your commentary, I need your feedback. I want to know how you feel about these things that I'm going to bring up. So I want to start, I'm very big on definitions. That's something that I repeat all the time. You will come to know this. I like definitions because I find in this day of buzzwords and people, things trending, people tend to repeat things without knowing what they mean. Kind of like, small children. So social media, what is social media? Social media is a tool like any other. You can take a knife and you can cut up a loaf of bread and share amongst people, or you could take the same knife and kill everybody. It's a tool. The knife is not innately evil or good. It's what you do with the tool. And social media is a tool. And the definition is forms of electronic communication such as websites for social networking through which users create online content to share information, ideas, personal messages, and other content such as videos. So that's what social media is. It's literally us putting together the information that we see. So now instead of being told what to think or what's important by CNN and CP24, we tell each other what we think is important. And we tell each other, we share news articles and links, and that's how you get to know your circle and get to know the people around you. So my first thing is, if you find that your newsfeed is trash, you need to take a look at who you're friends with on social media, who you're connecting with. The more negative things that you watch, the more, and I mean, everybody has their own things that they like, right? I mean, for example, I very, very strongly dislike anything world star-ish. And as I started deleting the people who would share the videos and ignoring the links and not clicking on them, I saw them less and less until the point now that I rarely see a brawl in the street where there are wigs and clothes and various things being thrown off. That will very, very rarely pop up in my feed. And when I do, I find the source and I eliminate it. So it's really about who you connect with and what you are spending your time looking at, because you have to believe that one of the purposes of social media, it is a social experiment, and the people who control the information are using it in some way to dictate certain things. I mean, you've noticed, right? If you say skin cream, for example, you will see ad after ad after ad. Even if you didn't type it into whatever platform you're now seeing the ad on, it's all interlinked. So be cautious of who you let into any part of your life, whether it's virtual or real. So on my timeline recently, there's been a lot, And so I picked some. So I found this little meme. I thought it was so cute. So you have a little pie chart telling you, what's on their Facebook feed. So the pink is clickbait. The green is the pseudo-inspirational quotes. People post it, but they don't live it. Red is blurry, overused memes. Why can't people find the original memes and share those instead of these cut up, mashed up memes? I don't know. The blue is virtual kid shaming. Shaming or sharing? Shaming, yes. That actually, you know what though? That may be something that I talk a bit more about, because that's something that I don't understand. You see a lot of people disciplining their kids, or going through very emotional things with their children while taping them, which is something that I just don't understand. I so believe in social media to help us learn and share our experience so we grow from them, but there are just some things that I can't comprehend why you would film that. And then the last part was, useful things. Now, like I said earlier, I'm very happy to say that my pie chart would look nothing like that. And I actually laugh and smile and giggle at my phone quite a bit. It's probably disturbing for those people around me watching. So I'll start with something smaller, because my knowledge base of this is not that good, but it's big on my timeline. So anybody, oh, by the way, my shirt, it doesn't just say negativity. It says negativity, goodbye. And I'm doing it backwards because I'm not used to seeing myself on screen like that, but it's negativity, goodbye. So, making sure that all the negative is nowhere around you. So obviously, I'm here in Toronto, Canadian girl, and obviously on my timeline, huge, big is the Raptors. The Raptors games, the footage, the Toronto Raptors. Now, I am smiling like a fool, and I don't even know if I should say this out loud and have it on tape, but I am not a fan like that. I don't follow basketball. I don't know the whole history and the whole story. I got schooled on one of my posts one day about the history of who did what and who really deserves the ring and the trophy or whatever. I am going to admit to you, I know very, very little about basketball, about the history. I do know basketball was invented in Canada. But what I also do know is national pride. And that is something that you're seeing with the Raptors. And I'm here in Toronto, their hometown, but I know it's everywhere. I've seen pictures and footage, and I wish I had gotten one, actually, Selena, of the different Jurassic Parks all over the city. And even in Montreal, my hometown, people just gathering in mass to cheer on this team. And they're doing something that has never been done, and they're headed towards the NBA Finals. They're looking to be the champs. So it's been all over my feed, lots and lots and lots. I mean, mostly, there's a lot of people are very technical. Sports fans are technical. They know their stuff. They know their scores. They're very critical of their players. But there's been other feedback as well, which I find interesting. And I'm sure many of you have experienced this, either yourself personally or with other people that you see. And, we put it under one umbrella of haterism, just hating. And what's interesting is that I'm seeing people that are even Canadians, even people here in Toronto, and I get it, like we all have our favorite, well, most people have their favorite teams, and it may not be the place that you live or where you're from, but people are saying things like, well, if the Raptors win, what does that do for me? What does that do for Toronto? And when I saw that post, I was very puzzled that, did this person not think this out? And the thing is that anytime our city, our country is positively represented on an international stage, it benefits everyone. Every business, whether connected directly with basketball or not, will benefit. Just simply saying you're from Toronto will add weight to whatever application in whatever field you're making on an international stage. So I, for one, am very, very happy and excited to feel the energy in the city and to see what's happening. There we go. Selena is the bomb. Look at her. She's fast on the draw. And really, that's how it is. It is the passion and the fire and the joy and celebration. And I, for one, am all for it. I live directly across the street from a Jurassic Park. I actually can hear them cheering through my window. So last night, I was having palpitations because every time we scored, I wasn't looking at the game, but I could hear everybody yelling. And when the other team scored, I could hear them go, oh. So it's really exciting. And I just want to say, for anybody out there that's doubting this significance and this importance, whether you're a fan or not, whatever reps us in a positive light on an international scale is good for all of us. So when we come back from this break, I'm going to touch on a couple of things. When They See Us, that movie that's on Netflix, the abortion debate, some social media etiquette, and a few other things when I come back from this break.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. May your dreams all come true. Happy birthday to you.
refuse to promote, report on anything negative in the community. With so many newspapers within the community, it's sometimes hard to tell what separates us from the rest. Most of the time, they all brag about the same thing. You know, the large circulations, tons of online views, and it can go on and on. But what really separates the Toronto Caribbean newspaper apart from everybody else? Well, it's simple. Our service. No, seriously. Hi, I'm Grant Browning, founder and CEO of the Toronto Caribbean newspaper. I have over 20 years of branding and marketing experience, and I've worked with countless companies and corporations to do one thing, and that is to raise their profits with their brand. With over 40 years of combined experience in branding and marketing, our amazing staff is fully prepared to sit down and figure out exactly what you need to stand out from your competitors.
The reason why you don't see that anymore is because
the ad is too powerful, bring too much people.
So what are you waiting for? Give us a call today. We'll be happy to help.
Welcome back to this episode of What Matters, and today I'm trying something new. I haven't decided what to call it yet, but it's kind of thinking on my timeline. So most of my information, most of my news comes from my timeline. It comes from Facebook, it comes from Instagram. I see links, I see news, and I click on them. Reliable sources. The Onion is for giggles, guys. If you see the source is theonion.ca, it's a joke site, so don't take it real. And I'm often surprised when I click on links and I see that it's obviously satire, how seriously some people take it. So reading is important too. And I think a lot of us, we read the comments before we read the article. And I saw a meme like that the other day where they said, you know, here's a fun tip: read the article before you read the comments. So social media is great because we are sharing our ideas and what's important to us instead of having it fed to us from a news source. But you also have to be careful because you have to, again, where is this information coming from? The mindset of these people, verification of information. So I thought it would be cool to kind of go over what I'm seeing prominently in my newsfeed. So the first thing was the Raptors. Obviously, here in Canada, it is the finals, and last night they lost by 1. I mean, I'm actually watching and paying attention. I was biting my nails. That's crazy. I don't know how you diehard fans do it, because that is nerve-wracking, completely nerve-wracking. So obviously another thing that I'm seeing a lot of, and I myself have not yet seen it. I'm kind of building up towards it. When They See Us. So When They See Us is a mini-series, a virtual, how do they put it? A digital a television mini-series on Netflix, airing now. And it is about, it's actually, I haven't even seen it yet, and I'm feeling very emotional about it. So this one here is about the Central Park jogger case that happened in 1989. And even saying 1989 is scary because, wow, that was a while ago. And the story centers on the Central Park Five. 5 young black men who were accused of raping a jogger in Central Park back in 1989. And in 2002, they were vacated. And now, what's interesting is the definition of the word vacated. Vacated is a legal position that the parties are treated like no trial took place. So they weren't, what's the other word? You may have to help me, Selena. When acquitted, they were vacated. So from a legal perspective, it's as though there was never any trial. But what's interesting is that, well, obviously 1989 was almost 30 years ago. It was 30 years ago. And they had already served their sentences. So by the time they were vacated, they had already served that time. They had spent the time in jail. And I think that the word itself is insulting, to be treated like no trial took place. Okay, you erase the trial, but you can't erase the punishment. And like a few people have likened it to Roots, that it is as impactful as and important as watching Roots, which is actually something we did in my school back when I was in high school. Lots of high schools did that, where they aired Roots. And as I said, I haven't yet watched it. I actually would like company to watch it. It's not something that I want to watch alone, where I would pace myself and do it in bits, because I think it's 6 episodes or 8 episodes. But these things are very painful to watch. And from the feedback I've seen on my feed, a lot of people haven't been able to get past episode 1. A lot of people have, it's been very, very impactful. Many people are watching it with their children. And what's interesting too is the reactions of everyone, not just people of color, of everyone, at how startling the injustices are in the justice system for black, especially our black boys. And I did see another article, I believe this one was in the New York Times, stating that the prosecutor, who I don't remember her name, and I'm kind of okay with that. The prosecutor, she's saying that this is all fallacy, and they've twisted the facts. But overwhelmingly, it seems that everybody knew, the prosecutor, the judge, everybody knew that they were innocent. And to railroad young men and have them give up half their lives for something that they did not do, and for such a heinous crime as well. I mean, being a sex predator is a different level and label than being a thief, or being even a mugger. There's so many other things that come with that. So I will be watching. I can't speak. I'm sure that could be a show onto itself, but that is one of the things I've really been seeing in my timeline. And one of the things I really like are the people that I'm connected to. They have some great conversation. They have some really intelligent conversation, and I like to see what's coming out of it. I like the fact that people who don't live the life, that don't walk in the skin, are starting to understand the ridiculous obstacles that, for some, just breathing, just getting from point A to point B on a regular day cause. So when they see us, that is really, really big on my timeline. And that kind of folds into, and I don't want to go into that too much because, as my shirt says, negativity, goodbye. But when they see us, as much as it may be painful or hurtful to watch, it's positive in a way. I don't know if I said that right. It's positive in a way because you get to peek into a life that maybe is not your own and understand something. And I think for some of our children, it might be a wake-up call. They may see how horrible things can get under the wrong circumstances. But one of the things I wonder, and you can answer if you're watching live, or you can answer later, is those beat 'em up in the street videos. Do you watch them when they show up? The videos where people are killed or die, when they come up into your feed, do you click on the link? And if you do, I'd love to know, why do you click on the link? Is it curiosity? Do you feel it will add value? And I'm not being facetious. I'm really not. I am truly curious as to what makes people watch the violent videos, the videos where people are killed. I'm really curious. So if you're one of those people who do watch those videos, I would like to hear your feedback. If you have something that you can add, I would love to know what is the appeal of it. So there we have it. When They See Us, which, like I said, I think that we could have a whole show on that, and it's on Netflix now. If you don't have Netflix, you have a friend who does, hit them up and ask them for their password. I know Netflix did not like what I just said, but yeah, get to watch this one. So, I don't have much time, so I'm going to do something short for this part. Something else I'm seeing on my timeline a lot is about traveling to the Dominican Republic. Now, I know algorithms, and there's certain, keep calm and go to the Dominican Republic. There's certain algorithms that obviously make the same people show up in my feed, and I have people in certain geographic areas, but I'm just shocked at how many people I'm seeing saying, I'm not going to DR. It's off my bucket list. I'm never going. And I have been to the Dominican Republic. I'm an island girl, so really, put me on an island with a palm tree and some sand and I'm good. But aside from that, when I went to the Dominican Republic, I loved it. I enjoyed everything about it, from the beaches to, yes, even the food, the people. As much as I always do stay on a resort, but I'm also a wanderer. So I'm off on motorcycles. I find locals, I befriend them, and I go to the local bars. That's what I do. And I had a great time in DR. And I think that statistically, I looked it up, and StatsCan has it as a high degree of warning, so high caution, because of the high amount of crime, there was some virus, I can't remember the name of the virus, and there was another reason, but high amount of crime was the first reason. But what's interesting, a virtual friend of mine who I follow and I think is awesome, shout out to Demikos, he's a fear coach, and kind of interesting, he's a fear coach, and this is what he wrote. He said 4 have been found dead in Dominican. 4 tourists have died in the Dominican since March. 43 people were killed in one weekend in Chicago. And we pause. So this is kind of like a Flavor Flav moment. Don't believe the hype. And it's not to say these people didn't pass. And it's not to say that it's not horrific and it's not something to be cautious of. But I think that we have to take everything with caution. Put things relatively, because as I sit here and I look at the news coming out of, let's say, even America, when I look at the news coming out of Toronto, I don't want to leave my house. That's why I don't watch CP24. It's actually scary. My anxiety goes up far. So when you get this information, this is kind of what I'm leading back to. Social media is awesome. It puts the power in our hands to a greater degree, but take everything with a grain of salt. Right? As they say, don't believe everything that you read. I will be right back after this break.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. May your dreams all come true. Happy birthday to you.
refuse to promote, report on anything negative in the community.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Welcome back to this edition of What Matters, and I'm talking about what is on my timeline. So as someone who loves social media, I'm present, I'm there. If you want to find me, you will find me there on Facebook. Just message me. It's very entertaining for me. It keeps me company, it keeps me informed, it educates me. I've met some amazing humans through it, and I mean actually met. Like, I make arrangements for people who live in my city, and I go and I meet them. And if you're not from here and you're headed this way or I'm headed your way, I love to meet real people in real life, because it's that's what it's about. It's about real connection, right? So far I've spoken about the Raptors. Go Raptors! When they see us, Dominican Republic travel, and I'm kind of, you know what, I might be able to squeeze both of these in. I'm going to go for it. There are two things that I see. And one of them, it's about social media, and it's about social media etiquette. And just like in real life, you see people, and they seem to have no manners, you see it even more intensely online. People get behind their screen, I call them keyboard cowboys, and they become very emboldened. And they say things that I don't think they would ever say in real life. And they can... Sadly, sometimes they can be really mean, but as I said, because not that I'm trying to create an echo chamber, I don't look for everyone who's it. And it has lessened because I've actually started sending messages saying, hey, don't do that, is people tagging you in things that have nothing to do with you. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but you see in your news feed that you've been tagged in this, and then you go and you look, and there's like 89 other people tagged in the post, and the post has nothing to do with you. It's not something you're participating in. It's not something you've endorsed. It's not something you've even gone to or do you intend to go to, but there you are, and your name is attached to it. And now, of course, every time somebody comments on it or likes it, guess what? You're also notified. But for me, it's not just the notifications, because honestly, and that's another thing. If things irritate you, there are ways to deal with it besides public rants. There's so many settings on the different platforms, different ways you receive information, don't receive information, to hide things from people that you don't want to see. Maybe you don't want to completely disengage from them, but you don't want to see all their stuff. Maybe they're going through a breakup and you're just tired of it now. Whatever it is, there's unfollow, there's unfriend, there's snooze. You can even snooze somebody. They're a Raptors fan, you're not. You can snooze them for a week. You don't have to hear about it. There are different ways. But I think that let me rewind. I know that integrity is everything, especially in this fast-moving, fast-paced social media world. Your integrity is everything. And that's why I'm very particular about what I allow myself to be tagged in, because I don't want to be associated with something I don't endorse or something I'm not a part of. There are absolutely things that I may not attend or I may not have arranged, but because I am in cahoots, for a better way of putting it, with the person, and I support their cause and I support their event, then absolutely use me to help you promote. But I think that people should have respect for the platforms that other people have built up. If somebody is not a part of what you're doing, I talk with my hands a lot, that are a part of what you're doing, maybe get their permission before you tag them. I could do a whole show on social media etiquette. After like 12 years in this, I just see some stuff. People are amazing. So think about it. And if you have crazy folk in your timeline, do yourself a favor, go into your settings and explore, and you could turn off all sorts of things. You can actually turn it off to the point that people cannot tag you at all. You're just not taggable. But because I do socialize and I do network, there are things I want to be tagged in. But I think people should respect other people's platforms and the things that they've built for themselves and the reputations that they are working on, their brand. That's the word I was looking for, their brand, and not just throw themselves on. You know, it's kind of like you turn around and put like a little mustache on the Coca-Cola. That's not what they were aiming for. So tagging people and social media, and it's funny because these things come in clumps, right? I've had a lot of entrepreneurs recently on my timeline complaining about that. One second, let me ask Selena a question. This is kind of weird. So this is our last segment, right? Because we're almost at 7? Okay. So I'm going to squeeze this in, and maybe it's best I squeezed it in because this is a hot one, guys. A hot one. All over my timeline. I've got 2 women that I've only met virtually that I admire the heck out of. There's Chelsea Driscoll and Anastasia, and I'm sure I'm going to mash up her last name bad right now. Melnick, I hope. And these ladies are so entertaining and so informative. I've learned so much by being friends with them on Facebook. And they were the ones that have given me a lot of my knowledge about the current abortion debate in the United States. Now, I'm here in Canada, so obviously, you know, people say, well, this has nothing to do with you, so why are you bothering in it? The borders in the world are imaginary, just so you know. I remember being a little kid and finally going to the States, and I got there and there was nothing. I was shocked. I'm like, there's not like a line or a break or something. You look at the maps and you think, oh, there's this. No, and with technology, the world closes in. So if something happens in a country, especially one right beside you, and you have to imagine, for the good or the bad, that these new policies may have a trickle effect within your own country, within your own government. So in the United States, okay, I'm going to do this fast because this is not, right now, this is not an opinion piece. I'm not telling you to be pro-life or pro-choice or whatever. And for the record, I will state my stance, which is something I've avoided doing for almost the last year on the show. But you know what? If you're ever going to get to know me, I guess it's now. And I am pro-choice. I believe that the choice is up to the individual. I don't think that I should project my values and my desires onto someone else. Now, as a society, we have to have rules and we have to have guidelines. But I think one of the problems that we have as a society right now is that everybody wants other people to live by their own personal rules. And that's not how, especially in North America, that's supposed to be this big melting pot of different people, that's not how it works. So in the United States, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, that's a lot. 9 states that have passed restrictive abortion legislation. Now, I'm going to go over this kind of quick. I just want to give you the information. I want to plant the seeds of thoughts for you to think. And again, another big thing with me is I want you to think why you think the way you think. When you have a thought, especially when it's a knee-jerk reaction, like, that's just wrong, you should be able to break down your own thoughts. Why do you feel this way? And it's very interesting what introspection will do. But in these states, Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, North Dakota, and Ohio, many of these states are passing what they're calling fetal heartbeat laws. So once a heartbeat is detected, you're no longer able to have an abortion. Now, Roe versus Wade it seems like it's up in the air. And I didn't think it was something that would ever be overturned, but it seems like there is a possibility. I don't fully understand how that would work. I am not a lawyer. But I know that some states have even more restrictive laws than others. Like, for example, we have Missouri that has no exceptions after 8 weeks. And if the doctor performs the abortion, he is eligible to go to jail for 15 years. So even in cases of rape, incest, danger to the mother or the fetus's viability, it is banned. But Alabama is looking by November to pass a law that abortion at any stage is a felony, and you could be looking at 99 years in prison. Some of them were even considering making it an executionable offense. And the logic there to me is interesting, that you would execute a full-grown, fully developed woman for having aborting her fetus. I think that's interesting. And many of them have trigger laws, which means that there will be an automatic abortion ban if Roe v. Wade is overturned. So abortion in the U.S. has steadily declined since 1990. In 1990, the peak was 1.6 million abortions, and since then it has steadily declined. I did forget to grab this piece of information, but I did look it up, and I believe it was 25 of the states in the USA are obligated to teach sex education. So less than half the states teach any kind of sex education, or have to teach any kind of sex education, but you have some states coming up with complete bans on this, restrictive bans. Some are saying only after 6 weeks you can't have an abortion, and if you have any idea of biology, hence the sex education classes, you would know that women often do not know they're pregnant until about 6 weeks. Takes us that long biologically, not because some women are dumber than others, but biologically it takes sometimes about that amount of time to even figure out that you're pregnant. So if you have a stance on this, I would be very interested in the comments or by DM. We could do a Facebook Live, have a debate. If you if you have something you want to say, I would love to hear your opinion on this and how you feel that these laws, if any, should be implemented. And that is, well, of course, there's like tons of stuff on my timeline, but today we talked about the Raptors, abortion debate, when they see us, some social media etiquette, Dominican Republic, travel and people's opinions on that. And I obviously have more, but not for this episode. So I hope that next time we run through this and we talk about the issues that matter, see where it is? The issues that matter to us, and the issues that matter to us come up on our timelines. They come up in our social media. And when you keep seeing a reoccurring theme, that's what's of interest to the people in your circle. So again, it gives you a good opportunity to look at who is in your circle. So I actually had fun today. I enjoyed that. I think it's because I enjoy hearing my own opinion. I could hear my children saying that. Mom, you just like to hear yourself talk. That's why. But I enjoy having you here. I thank you for joining me. Comments, shares, suggestions, anything that you want to put down. But I do think this will be a regular occurrence where you're just going to see me about once a month. You'll be seeing Andrew, aka Coach Drew, once a month at the end of every month, and always highlighting the community builders and the doers of our community. So whether you're here in Toronto or you're abroad, we do have remote videos that we can do. Contact me. I would love to highlight the people who get it done and do what matters. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.